Welcome English Channel.
Every success has a story behind it. Some are written with brilliance from the start. Others, like his, are carved out of failure, temptation, and the courage to stand again. Fresh out of university, Nam stepped into the world with big dreams. His resume looked polished. His hopes felt limitless. His family was well off and full of encouragement. Their expectations were high, but loving. At the graduation dinner, his father raised a toast. He asked whether Nam would climb the corporate ladder or start his own company. Nam smiled confidently, saying he wanted to build something that lasts. His mother, warmly, reminded him to build with patience. Soon after, Nam rented a small desk in a co-working space. The air smelled of coffee and ambition. He named his startup Lighthouse. The promise: guide small shops into the digital tide. Vi, his best friend, joined as the first teammate. Weekends turned into whiteboards and wireframes. They believed the city would soon notice them. Their roadmap aimed for a 3-month launch. Nam's confidence made the deadline feel generous. The first pitch meeting came faster than sleep. A boutique owner asked for numbers Nam didn't have. Nam tried vague projections, but they rang hollow. They left with polite smiles and a vague promise to return. That night, Nam realized confidence is not a spreadsheet. Delays mounted, vendors postponed, freelancers vanished, budget burned. Vi worried they needed an accountant and a tester. Nam insisted, revenue first. A cafe signed after a heartfelt demo. Nam celebrated like a marathon winner. But the payment bounced and the owner cooled off. His mother suggested joining his uncle's firm as a safety net. But Nam chose the hard way. Servers crashed during a rainy day promotion. Refunds piled up like unopened letters. Vi urged him to slow down. Nam replied, slowing down means sinking. Sleep shrank into naps. Coffee became a fourth meal. An investor ghosted after seeing uneven metrics. Their last words: great vision, but come back with traction. The words cut deep. Nam walked past bright shop windows. He wondered why glass never showed the cracks inside. At dinner, his father said pride and help can coexist. Nam, tired, only replied that he would figure it out. He returned to the co-working space, lights dim, city humming. He opened a page titled, "What I Don't Know." The list grew long, but so did his resolve. He didn't win that month. He barely stayed afloat. But he stayed. And staying, he would learn, is where every true beginning begins. The second month arrived with bills that didn't care about dreams. Servers, rent, and taxes, each line knocked like a collector at the door. Nam stared at the cash flow sheet. Numbers leaned against him like a storm. Vi warned they had only 3 weeks of runway, maybe 2. Nam forced a smile. We'll land before the runway ends. A client delayed payment. Another demanded features not yet built. Nam promised both, and slept through none. The landlord called. "Rent is due Friday." Nam answered, "I'll bring it. Friday." He opened a lending website, then closed it, then opened again. Pride argued with panic. Panic spoke louder. Vi offered to have her pay. Nam reminded her she already had no salary. They canceled tools, shared logins, brewed coffee in a cracked kettle. The app crashed again during lunch hour. Reviews bit like frost. One email read, "Love the idea, hate the downtime." Nam wrote apologies that felt like confessions. He promised fixes by Monday, delivered Tuesday with shaking hands. His father called, "Come have dinner tonight." Nam said, "I can't. A deploy." But that night he deployed nothing, only stared at a blinking cursor. 2 interns quit the next day, citing fit. Vi suggested pivoting to services until revenue grew. Nam refused, fearing services would erase the product. He chose the product. The product chose to be difficult. A bank meeting ended with pamphlets and no loan. At home, his mother quietly placed an orange in his bag. "You don't have to carry this alone," she said. Nam whispered, "If I share the weight, is it still my dream?" She didn't answer. The orange glowed like a small sun. The following week, a key client churned with a short text. "Switching platforms." Sorry felt heavier than anger. Nam walked the long way back to avoid his reflection in the elevator. Vi suggested stopping growth features, focusing on reliability. After a long silence, Nam agreed. They named the plan Back to Basics. The plan needed time, the rent did not. The landlord knocked again. "Friday has come and gone." Nam handed a partial envelope, promising the rest next week. The landlord accepted with weary grace. That night, Nam finally shipped a stable patch. 12 crash-free hours felt like a holiday. He and Vi high-fived, slumping like quiet war survivors. A text came from Hui, "Come out tonight, clear your head." Nam hesitated, jacket in hand, between rest and escape. He told himself, just one drink, just one night. Outside, the city blinked like both a promise and a warning. One drink became a doorway. The night was more persuasive than rest. Hui knew the bars that never slept and the people who never said no. "You've earned it, bro," Hui grinned. Nam whispered to himself, "Just one night. I'll be sharper tomorrow." Tomorrow arrived with a headache and a missed stand-up. "All okay? We needed you for the bug triage." Nam typed, deleted, typed again, "On my way." But he wasn't. The music from last night still clung to him like smoke. Nights blurred, one round paid by Hui, another by strangers with bigger bottles. They called it networking. The receipts called it debt. Post the wins, hide the losses. That's how the game works. Hui laughed. Nam laughed uneasily. "Yeah, the game." He slept at noon, coded at dusk, and promised dawns he couldn't deliver. A maintenance window passed while he hailed a late-night cab. The status bot pinged, "Alert, service latency elevated." Vi called, "Nam, where are you? I need you on the server." Nam shouted over club noise, "5 minutes." 30 minutes later, Vi shipped a hotfix with shaking hands. Reviews cooled. A client paused payment again. Hui's crowd grew louder, VIP lists, quick loans, laughter that ended with the bill. A new friend, Trang, said, "Stress is just a story your brain tells you. Order another round." Another round, another promise. "Tomorrow I'll get back on track." Tomorrow kept forgiving. Reality did not. The landlord texted, "Final reminder." His bank balance dipped below a painful number. Nam sold his beloved lens, calling it strategic, but it felt like pawning a piece of himself. Face to face, Vi said, "This isn't you. We need the Nam who builds, not the one who disappears." Nam defended, "I'm networking, finding leads." Vi answered, "Find yourself first." Her words followed him like a mirror he couldn't dodge. That weekend, Nam missed a family lunch. His father saved an empty seat. Later, his father texted, "The rice got cold. Home is warm." Nam stared at the message until the screen dimmed. But he went out anyway. "That's the spirit," Hui said, slapping his back. Near dawn, the city looked tired of pretending. Nam counted crumpled receipts, short on both cash and excuses. Vi texted at dawn, "Client canceled. We need to talk at 9. Nam showered in silence. Even water sounded guilty. In the mirror, his eyes looked like unsent emails. At 9 a.m., the office felt colder than the air conditioner. Vi waited with a folder and a tired smile. Nam arrived late, carrying the night on his face. Vi said quietly, "We lost another client. We're not okay, Nam." Nam defended, "I'm fixing things." Vi opened the folder. "These are the things breaking. Uptime, trust you." Silence stood between them like a locked door. Vi said, "Hui isn't networking. He's noise. Choose." Nam looked away. "I just need one big break." Vi replied firmly, "Breaks don't come to people breaking themselves." Nam left before the meeting ended. Pride closed the door, but doubt followed him down the stairs. His phone buzzed. Hui's message sparkled like a trap. "Tonight, VIP table. Meet investors." Another buzz. "Bank alert, balance under red numbers." Another ping. An ad for a fast loan with slower consequences. Nam whispered, "One loan to bridge the gap, then we'll recover." He walked toward the lender's office, each step a negotiation with fear. The water held the sky like a promise. In the ripples, he saw the boy who wanted to build a lighthouse. Vi arrived, breathless. "I figured you'd be here." Nam was surprised. "How did you?" Vi held up an old photo. "You posted this lake on day 1. Remember?" She handed him a small box. Inside lay the camera lens he had sold. Nam was stunned. "How? Why?" Vi said, "I bought it back. not for photos, for proof. Nam asked, proof of what? Vi answered steadily, that you're still in there. Nam closed his eyes, and the night inside him cracked like thin ice. Vi whispered softly, you can fall. You just can't pitch a tent on the ground. Nam admitted, voice shaking, I'm scared, Vi, of failing again, of facing them. Vi replied, fear is a compass when you don't let it drive. Here's the map. Sleep, sobriety, stability. She wrote 3 lists on a notepad. Start, stop, and ask for help. Vi pointed, start daily stand-ups, daily walks, client calls at 10. Stop nightlife, stop loans, stop excuses. Ask your parents for dinner. Ask me for accountability. Nam laughed through tears. You sound like a CEO. Vi said, I just want ours back. Nam nodded, a truce with himself. He said resolutely, tonight I go home. Tomorrow we reset. That evening, his father listened more than he spoke. His mother placed an orange by his bowl once again. His father said gently, pride can walk beside help. Let them. Nam whispered, I will, and I'm sorry. His mother smiled, eat first, win later. That night, Nam blocked Hui's number and archived the clubs. He opened a clean page titled Day Zero. He wrote, I will be the builder again. For the first time in months, sleep came like forgiveness. Morning would demand proof, but the voice that saved him had already given him the map. Day zero began with silence, no clubs, no excuses, only a checklist taped to the wall. Sleep at 11, wake at 6, walk at 6:30. Nam treated discipline like scaffolding around a damaged house. At 9 a.m., the first stand-up felt awkward but honest. Vi opened a notepad, 3 columns, start, stop, ask for help, every day. Nam said, start, stabilize, stop, overpromising, ask, feedback. They renamed the sprint Lighthouse Reset and cut nice-to-haves without mercy. Error budgets and uptime targets went on a whiteboard like vows. Vi said, post-mortem for every incident. No blame, only causes and fixes. Nam wrote tests the way a diver checks oxygen. Slow, careful, alive. He refactored brittle modules and deleted features nobody used but everyone paid for in crashes. Nam said, less magic, more reliability. Vi smiled. Now you sound like a founder. He owned the mistakes without varnish. Client asked, why should we return? Nam answered, because we fixed what failed, and we'll prove it before you pay a cent. He offered a free pilot with clear SLAs and a kill switch. 2 said no, 1 said maybe, and 1 said yes with caution. He unfollowed nightlife chats, blocked fast loan ads. He followed 2 mentors he once ignored. Mentor said, you don't have a growth problem, you have a trust problem. Nam replied, then we'll earn it, inch by inch. They moved billing to a safer provider and added public status pages. A small cafe, the first to flee, agreed to retest for 1 weekend. The cafe owner said, "If the app stays up during our rush, we'll talk long term." The rush came like weather. The app held like a bridge rebuilt with better bolts. No crash for 48 hours. Nam printed the graph and taped it next to the debt plan. Vi half joked, "Frame it when we hit 99.9%. Nam walked again at dawn. The lake mirrored a steadier face. At dinner, his father asked fewer questions and offered more rice. Father said, "Brick by brick." Nam replied gratefully, "Brick by brick." They reached 99.7% uptime. Not perfect, but respectable. The cafe signed a 3-month contract with a note. "Thanks for listening." Vi raised a paper cup. "To small wins that stack." Nam touched cups. "To the lighthouse that actually guides." By month's end, revenue didn't soar, but the ground stopped shaking beneath their feet. And sometimes, the first success is simply the moment nothing is falling apart. Nam opened a fresh page titled, "From Stable to Strong," and wrote, "Ready." Tomorrow wouldn't be easy, but he had rebuilt the part of himself that could carry the rest. Stability didn't make headlines, but it made room for progress. By week 4, Lighthouse reached 99.9% uptime for the first time. Nam framed the graph next to the whiteboard, "Quiet proof, loud message." At the accelerator demo day, Nam pitched not a dream, but a discipline. Nam said on stage, "Lighthouse helps small shops trade chaos for clarity. Reliability first, then growth." An investor said afterward, "We lead your seed if you promise to grow at the speed of trust." Nam smiled, "That's the only speed we know." Lighthouse launched a free toolkit for microshops, templates, checklists, plain language guides. Media called Nam a rising name in tech, but he kept the lens on his desk to remember the pledge. Vi raised a cup, "To trust earned daily." The team replied in unison, "To trust." Success didn't arrive like fireworks. It arrived like morning, quiet, inevitable, earned. Requests flooded in. Nam said no more often than yes, and the brand grew stronger for it. One evening, he pinned a note above the monitor, "Be the lighthouse you once needed." Outside, the city lights shimmered on the lake. Inside, the team shipped calmly, like sailors who had learned the tides. Nam wasn't chasing fame. He was keeping a promise, and that, in time, made him known. He once mistook applause for progress and speed for strength. In the end, he learned that trust, patiently earned, is the only engine that lasts. His story was not a leap, but a scaffolding. Sleep restored, walks at dawn, small promises kept until they became character. He failed in public, rebuilt in quiet, and chose discipline over drama. He kept the old lens on his desk, a promise in glass, to remember who he wanted to be by the lake that day. "Be the lighthouse you once needed." He wrote above his screen. It became policy, then culture, then brand. Success did not arrive like fireworks. It arrived like morning, quiet, inevitable, earned.
Dreaming of a bright future? Like, subscribe, and share your plans in the comments. Let's grow and laugh together. See you next day.